Hey everybody, it's Bust with Expedition Trial number 299. Let's see who shows up. I've been kind of losing my voice here, so hopefully it doesn't go out on me, but we'll see how this plays out. And I'm actually quite interested in taking this Vladimir. Like, we've seen, so many trials come up here recently where it was just like, we can't play Vladimir because we have all these, like, sand soldiers and stuff. And so I've been wanting to give him another try here recently, and this looks like our opportunity to do it. And so, there is, the opportunity to go for this Talia here. I still think this is a pretty garbage card pool, but, if we're going to get things going with Talia, this is probably about as good of a start as we could hope for. Maybe we would rather have, like the predict thing that makes the units in your deck better, but this is a pretty good one with her. I think Ancient Preparations is a great way to really get her rolling, but I still think this is a pretty terrible card pool. And then I hate Monkey Business. This card's trash, and so we'll stay away from Gangplank, see what we could do with this Vladimir. And so let's take a moment. We'll get him pulled up on the site. Yeah, and if you're not familiar with it, it's ftpbus.com. It's where I keep all of my expedition-related content. We're just going to be over here on the Expedition Helper section. We'll scroll our way down to the drop-down box, go to the very bottom of the list where Vladimir hangs out, and see what we're working with here. And so, yeah, Battle Scars Vladimir. This pairs up with Braum, and kind of the idea is that you're going to be dealing damage to your own units for some kind of value. And so, out of the Noxus side here, you can, the old way of doing this was just to build around Crimson Curator. I don't think this is a particularly good strategy anymore, but he still illustrates what we're trying to do here, right? We're trying to deal some damage to our own units, get some kind of value out of it. And so this is the premier one, right? You deal some damage to this thing and you get some card advantage by adding the crimsons to your hand. And then as your units start to die off, or you need to rearrange where your health lives, you can move over and use things like transfusion. And so, I don't think this strategy is just quite good enough anymore. There's just like way too many value engines now that are better than Crimson Curator. He used to really just be like, well, it kind of sucks if we run into Lux, but we're good against everything else. But now it's just like even decks that just have like minimal amounts of invokes in them can just way outdo anything that the Crimson Curator ever could. And so, he's just kind of, we're looking at him as like a 3-drop for 3. Maybe he replaces himself, but, he's not like the be-all, end-all that he used to be. But, like the big real strength that this deck has going for it is the 2-drops, and so it still has these really good things in Crimson Aristocrat, Imperial Demolitionist. Down in the rare slot there is Crimson Disciple, and then I can't see where the little guy is. I was like pretty certain I added him to the card pool. Maybe I didn't, but the 1-drop unit out of the new set also lives here. The thing that when it comes into play, it deals damage to that unit and gives him +1 attack or something. That guy lives here as well. But just do know that, this Vladimir pool is trying to get some kind of value out of dealing damage to your own units. So let's snatch up Vladimir, see who shows up the rest of the way. Okay, I mean, I can always get behind taking a Feel the Rush. I'm not, really excited about picking up Faces of the Old Ones. We ideally won't have any 8-cost cards in our deck, but Trundle plays quite well with Feel the Rush, and then the Trolls theme also plays well with the Battle Scars kind of theme. This was when the sets came out. I was initially pretty surprised that they have all these weird like Aurelian Soul decks with Trundle, and didn't actually just replace Braum with Trundle in the Battle Scars pool, because all of the trolls having regenerate does pretty well with the self-damage, right? If you have your 3/5 regenerate troll and then deal 4 damage to it, goes into the next turn, heals it back up, and you have a little synergy. But, Riot felt a different way about it. But anyways, as far as that's concerned, that's, we'll probably just take the Field of Rush here. I don't really want to be playing Teemo and Poro Cannon, things that make 1 health units with Vladimir, so we can probably just skip over that. And then the Taric, I don't think these two have too much synergies. You can't transfusion a Taric since it has 2 targets, and it does fit in some of the problems to where we tend to have a lot of problems with just like needing to have a bunch of 1s and 2-drops so Taric can play a unit and a spell in the same turn, but beyond that, there's not a whole lot of synergies other than trying to be like, well, post-combat, Taric can attack and give something tough, and then we can beat up that tough unit with Imperial Demolitionists. That feels pretty thin, right? And so I think we'll be okay over here with Trundle and the Trolls. See if we can't maybe piece together like a 2 Vladimir, 1 Trundle, 1 like Trundle or, Overwhelm Champion kind of deck, maybe a Darius or something to really take advantage of this Feel the Rush. But let's see what we can do. Let's pull up Enlightenment real quick and see if there's anything particularly useful on this half of the pool. Where are you at? Down here in the T's, find us a Trundle and Enlightenment. Okay, and so which one's Ancestral Boon? That's the Enlightened one. I had to stop and think for a moment on that one. But so far, none of these cards are that exciting. Kindly Tavern Keeper kind of plays on theme. But yeah, see, we're talking about things like Troll Ravager getting regeneration, Augur of the Old Ones having regeneration, Usgar having regeneration. These are kind of things that play well to the Battle Scars theme. I don't think this is too great here. The big unit that I was kind of looking for was the 2/1 or the 3/1 Overwhelm for 2 mana that has Tough. There's just a lot of the cards out of like the Braum half of this. I guess we should also look to Braum because these cards will be showing up. But his side is using things like Scarthane Stefan, has the trolls here as well. But wow, does that dude really not live here? Man, I would have swore that Overwhelm unit lived here, but apparently he does not. But this is the other half of the pool, doing much of the regeneration things. So I kind of wanted to take a peek and see what we would see. Also, kind of interested in Ice Shards. This is what I think is ultimately going to be a pretty powerful card for us, activating our own abilities while hopefully AoEing off our opponent's units. But Trundle it is. Let's see what we can piece together here. And so, man, not very interesting packs. Just this, we have to take the Demolitionist Death Lotus. The 2 ramp cards here just aren't going to be any good. I really don't intend on having any more 8-cost cards than like Feel the Rush. Like we might have 1 or 2. We might pick up an Usgar, might pick up a Battle Fury, but I'm never feel like we're going to activate this on the second turn. And then Troll Chant's fine, but we're not going to hit Overwhelms either. So at least a Demolitionist is kind of an activator, a Death Lotus is kind of an activator. Hopefully we can pull something off with those. Okay, all right, here's Team Awkward getting ready to come in and help out our friends. But, in the biggest upgrade of all, I had immediately in my head that Legion Rearguard only had 1 health still, and I was like, man, I've been like in one side of the coin I've been like had in my head, it's like, man, I'm ready to like get my Legion Rearguard deck together. I'm ready to turn him premium and get things going now that he's back to having 2 health. And then I just immediately rethought that, like, man, Legion Rearguard, Runeweaver both have 1 health and they play horribly with an Imperial Demolitionist. But no, our boy Legion Rearguard's ready to go. I can't believe I was thinking so ill of him. Okay, all right, and here, I don't really like the Freylord half of this deck. I don't think this self-damage to make your units bigger thing is a very real ability. Like, the Scarthane Stefan's fine in the sense that he's 6 stats for 3 mana, but I really don't like an Unscarred Reaver, especially when, at this stage of the trial, we do have some pretty bad cards here, like Death Lotus, Faces of the Old Ones, and so I want to, keep our bad cards to a minimum for the time being. And so let's take the Runeweaver Death's Hand. Runeweaver just premier 2-drop along with a removal spell. Okay, so here we're not gonna move over into Piltover, so we can easily skip over that. I wouldn't be opposed to picking up some of the Yeti theme. It tends to play reasonably well in these decks. The Yetis can survive all of the self-damage cards, but and then I think with these like Nox and Fervor Troll Chants, we tend to like stack up on like 3 and 4 Nox and Fervors, and it just tends to be too many. It seems to be a card that just shows up frequently, but I don't think we can pull off too much with these. If we were in like a Sejuani style deck, we could really look to these Overwhelms, but this tends to be like much more focused on the early game plays and not so much being a late game Overwhelm finisher. But I mean, we do have 1 activator in Death's Hand to get the Wolf Rider leveled up on our opponent's turn. Do we have anything else? We can kind of consider Demolitionists that, but that would be a turn 6+ play. Alright, I'll just take the Combat Trick into the removal spell. Alright, here's an easy one. Let's jump in and take Kato the Arm. Draven's biggest fan, we'll have to see what we can do with that, but always happy to pick up a Kato. Okay, and we're getting the Imperial Demolitionist. The unit I'm really looking for here is like the 3/2 for 2, the last breath to deal damage. He's kind of the like premier aggro unit as far as these decks are concerned, but we're still kind of staying on theme here, and so I'm happy enough to pick those up. Okay, and here's the new card. The next time you summon another ally, deal 1 to it and give me +1/+1. So I would like to pick these up, and they do play well with the Reaver. Like, the Reaver is super on point for everything we need out of a unit. But I think picking up these 2-drops is probably just a little bit more important. I would love to take all 6 cards here. That would be so impressive. But like, my problem with the Bloodletter is he really wants to be playing with like Crimson Disciples, but yeah, we just don't have any of those. We have the Demolitionists that doesn't really combo with, and then Rune Weavers, which it just kills. So let's go ahead and keep this kind of Reforge early drop theme going. Maybe we can kind of fix ourselves with these themes a little bit later. And man, with how like completely beautiful that previous pack was, to see something just full of hot garbage like this, that's depressing, right? Do we even have any units that we can draw a card with off this thing? We have Trundle can't do it, Kato, just Kato. We can maybe make some other plays to do it, but I kind of just want the removal spell though. These other cards are so bad. Intimidating Roar, I think it's back to being a little bit better. It was pretty bad when Shurima was showing up in such force, because like the reputation cards were running around so high, and it was just like all of your opponent's units had 5+ attack. But I think it's a little better now. But we don't want Apprehend, don't want these ramp cards. I think we're just kind of stuck with these. Okay, all right. Well, I've never been a huge fan of like Ravenous Flock in this style of deck, and so you know, the Iron Ballista is one of the premier units that we'll be looking for here. So I think this is a fairly easy take. We ever just want to like roll the dice with the Afrosian Outriders? No, we don't, because we only have 4 Freylord cards, and so this is gonna just be a Brittle Steel Icefell Archer. Man. Okay, which one? You were the... Yeah, we're never going to hit Enlighten, so we can let Ancestral Boon go. But we should be a pretty reasonable go wide strategy. I think Crowd Favorite will be okay here. We haven't really pieced together, like, Might used to be pretty important in these decks, because you'd have so much of the 5/5 for 4 mana that deals the damage to everything, and then you pick up more of those things with your Crimson draw card guy, and so you'd close out games with Might, but that's not where this deck is really living right now. So, okay to let that one slide. Okay, and then continue this aggression, a Saboteur with the Trifarian will work out just fine. I don't really want to add these Draven's Biggest Fans, and I feel like our interaction is like okay. We haven't seen any Whirling Deaths, haven't seen any Calling Strikes, but we do have, you know, the 2 Death Sands, the 2 Nox and Fervors, and so I don't think the Brutal Hunter is like super important here. Okay, but this one is a little bit better, but no, we can trade away the Assessor for a Rune Weaver. I think that's just way more important. Glad to pick that up. So, okay, I'm pretty sure I don't have to go and look. I mean, have we actually upgraded Legion Rearguard? Oh, we have. Okay, I'm glad I had the caps lock key on as well. Just so he's definitely yelling out, make me premium. But he's already done it. And so let's see here. I gotta pull up the deck list again and see what we're working with. Blade Squires, like all of these are. I know all those are upgraded. Maybe it has to be one of these Crimsons. Maybe a Demolitionist. And I think that's as far as we go with the units. And so let's take a peek here. Demolitionist is not leveled up. How are the Crimsons looking? Because I kind of want to upgrade the Curator, but we didn't draft any, right? Since he puts the copies, he puts additional Crimson cards into your hand, but he didn't make an appearance, so it's going to have to be the Demolitionist. I'm sorry, my man. We just can't roll, can't just roll it like that, where we're just going to hope to find him in the future. So the Demolitionist it is. Alrighty, let's see what we can do here. I was kind of curious. I mean, this is our trial number 299. We're pushing 300. I have 99 7 winners as far as my record keeping is concerned. And so I thought it'd be cool if we could hit 107 winners before we hit 300 trials, but it's at the end of the day, it's whatever. It's not that big of a deal. And so as far as this hand is concerned, I think I'm okay with hanging on to a couple 2s. I would ideally like to find a 1-drop here, but you know, I don't think we have enough to just like go ham and really try to hard mulligan for it. But we found one. We can accept this Teemo hit if we're like ultra worried about it. We can hit it in combat next turn, but with these Teemos, I typically don't worry about them until you know, some stronger hits are coming in.
These hands know metal and magic.
We had quick attack.
What did you find today?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm out of play.
So yeah, we have a couple options here. You know, ideally, I think we would be able to just Ice Veil Archer this Teemo, buy us a little bit more time. But if he opens, I'm okay to try to hit it with a Death's Hand. Ultimately have these pretty awkward starts where we can't play the Demolitionist because we don't have any units we can target. That's what I was talking about my boy Rearguard. I knew that was going to be a bit of a struggle here. Our opponent struggling to find that next turn button. There we go. There we go. There's our boy. Yeah. What up? So let's go for it. He'd have to specifically draw suit up this turn to get out of this Death's Hand. So this should be pretty safe. There's no combat tricks in these factions that increase your health.
Have a mushroom. Have 3.
Kato time. So I'm just intending on Ice Veil archering this Puffcat Peddler and attacking. He just gets us the most damage possible on this board.
Knocked and ready.
This is awesome! Oh, you'll scream!
Okay.
I've always been a fun guy.
Look at that, dude having to worry about the rear guard. So I don't want to deal with that, man. That's just scary. We'll just have to take this 4-hit. We don't have any good interactions with this, but our health is still pretty healthy here. He can spew off a bunch of damage, but I think this is okay. We got a pretty powerful turn coming up here, being able to quick attack our Kato. Just try to get a big old chunk of damage in. Okay.
If they don't break,
It's awkward. I can't decide if we should just put it onto Iron Ballista. They have, if he has like another Make It Rain or a Static Shock or something, this feels pretty bad, but... Ugh. Brutal.
for the glory of Noxus.
Brutal. I still think it's okay. Just leaving our Ballista around with 1 health is felt pretty ripe for disaster. Alright, so we just need to get 3 damage in. if we can do 3 damage, then we'll be okay. Man, that was going to be big though. Then just pretty much forced to block Kato in a value attack. Pretty painful.
Pay debt.
To serve
Interesting.
the greater good.
Played all those bursts, but didn't attack with the chump bump. Now we have the chance for a good blocker. Yep.
Nice to meet you. Ha!
Not bad. Not bad. Man, he's got so many puff caps in without the help of Teemo. Teemo only got 5 puff caps in. Okay. Painful. So we just need to overwhelm this Trundle.
The old
Let's
tongues
see if we
are
can't
spoken in
get
blood.
this closed out.
Bow to your king.
Just need to get in for 3 damage here. So if we could get him to not block with Chump Bump, that would be pretty cool. Ugh, 1 short. Okay. But we do have this big overwhelm attack next turn with Trundle, so hopefully that'll be enough to ice it.
Shiver in your boots. It's good to be the king.
Okay. that's the problematic one. Like, we can Nox and Fervor. Oh, we can't Nox and Fervor and then Brittle Steel. A set of cards. Why does he have these sea monsters? So, I mean, can we ever win the game if we Nox and Fervor this Abyssal Eye? Trundle's just going to be coming in for 5. I don't think we can. I think we're probably just dead here, but we have to roll the dice on it. We should be able to, you know, technically survive 2 puff caps, but yeah, sure. I just don't think we had a choice. That Trundle is, like, especially facing down a, you know, a 7/7, probably just not going to be able to do it without the Noxus Blast going face. Alright, well, here's a chance to get rid of Faces of the Old One. I'd love to get rid of Draven's Biggest Fan and Death Lotus, but Faces of the Old One is just actual dead in our deck. We have the one Feel the Rush and the Trundle making 8s, and so Beholds are not something that we'll be hitting anytime soon. Okay, what you got for us? Opponent? Opponent, please? Are we going to pour Robot on the first round? Maybe. Seems like it's going to happen. There we go. Something's happening. Found us the perfect opponent. Zachariah Z. Playing the old Scouts deck. Okay, alright. That's a little bit better. I'm kind of tempted to keep Kato in this kind of match. Typically, I wouldn't do something like this. This is something we typically do. It's like, you know, I only have 1 copy of Vladimir. And so I'll just keep it in my opener because he's such, you know, a high-powered card. And I think we're kind of at like the same point with Kato with this style of deck. Like, we would have hands down won that game last game if our Kato didn't die. So might just be powerful enough to hang on to here.
Nothing like the stink of blood and sweat.
Remember the objectives.
Okay, this gives us a good block now. He probably just can't attack.
The few for the many.
Okay. Look at that. Look how much people fear the Legion Rearguard, right? People are afraid of the Rearguards. He knows. He knows. Zachariah Z is up on the free-to-play bus strategies. You gotta just get out there with your Legion Rearguards. All right, this one we can start with the 2. I'm kind of curious if we ever need to play the Brittle Steel on this turn. Ugh. Kinda do, kinda don't. But not Saboteur. Let's at least get the Aristocrat. Oh, we don't have the mana now. Uh-oh. We could YOLO this, right?
Strike at their foundations.
Can be awkward. We could have put it on the Rune Weaver so that we would have a unit that's capable of blocking a like the 2/2 barrier scout, but this is just much more common to see like 3/3s coming out of Noxus. It's a nice hit.
I have my orders.
Always forward.
Maybe we should have kept it so we could actually get this Aristocrat on the board.
Ready.
Yeah. All right. Well, you're welcome to hit us again. Oh, you just missed it. Skipped it. Nice.
It is me,
Gator time. Can we have? I don't think we have choices here.
This'll shake him.
To do it like this. Like if he has a sharp sight, we just lose. But I mean, if he doesn't have it, then I think we're still reasonably okay. There we go. Here's our way to win the game. That's all it takes, right? You just gotta get to non-mana, and we'll be fine. Everything's okay. Yeah, let's get this out of here.
Silly thing.
We get a spell out of this. I'm more than happy to. It's like he hasn't played to a combat trick at this point. I assume he's not going to have another one. I don't know why he's not, making hooks and stuff, but that is what it is. Nice. Nice.
The people are my strength.
Get him. Broodmother. Okay, at least we can play another unit now. Then we just got to survive it. 2 turns and we can feel the rush. Yep. Does it hit? Did it actually hit all of our units? Brutal. Alright, at least gives us a block onto Quinn. I can't imagine we ever want to make the block, but... Alright. We just gotta face this 12 and then maybe we'll be okay. Hey, he ticked up our Vladimir, right? He survived this thing survived a point of damage. Alright, maybe if our opponent disconnected, that's our way to win the game, right? Oh, man. Maybe. Better lucky than good, am I right? And then, of course, we draw Vladimir. I don't think we have the right to complain about anything, but, as it would be with the Feel the Rush deck, it is only appropriate that we draw Vladimir right here. At least we get to watch these KDA effects. I wonder when they're ever going to take these out of the game. I thought these KDA cards were supposed to be something that was just like a temporary thing. But it is not. we were playing Feel the Rush. An entire expansion has come out. 2 expansions have come out since the KDA cards were released, I think. So, I don't know. I don't know what the deal with that is. Okay. Is he back?
Take forever, why don't you?
Yeah, I know, Trundle. You my boy. Okay. So we won one. Good job, guys. Good job. So let's see. I'm kind of interested in picking up 3 champions, right? The thing with Feel the Rush is, say you know, we're playing 3 Vladimirs, 1 Trundle. We have a Vladimir on the board. We can only feel the rush out Trundle. And so I think I'm okay to come and pick up this Draven. It's got Captain Farron, crowd favorite maybe. I don't think crowd favorite's as good as I want it to be in this deck, but Captain Farron is a Nutsos card, and we can maybe just win a bunch of games with on the strength of our epics, having, you know, Kato, Feel the Rush, Captain Farron. And then over here with the Vladimir, It That Stares is just not a card we really want to be playing. And so, you know, we'll see. You know, we don't have a full like Vladimir build around here. It's what we're trying to do, but the cards never really showed up. But I think we're good to just take this Draven, and we'll take Vladimir in the next one if we make it that far. All right, time to salvage. We can do it. We can do it. I feel okay. We can take this to 7. Okay. That's a pretty reasonable start. Not like super stoked about starting with, you know, the 2 3s, but it's okay. I don't think we should be. I mean, I guess we could mulligan away Iron Ballista in search of a 2-drop, but probably powerful enough to hang on to.
In position.
Okay, and then no Bilgewater 1s. The early game in these decks should be pretty weak. We should hopefully be able to run over them pretty well with Draven Iron Ballista. Okay.
I don't want to meet whatever woke you up. See what I've learned?
All the crowd favorites.
Time for the main event.
Main event crowd favorites. I'm ready for it. Get out here. The Draven's coming in. Come on, friend. Oof.
Men die.
Azir.
Arima
Okay.
lives forever.
Is it gonna put that damage on our Draven? I didn't think so. That's a way to get weapon hilted right out of the game. Okay.
Sands beneath me and winds behind me.
I think I'm still okay to just drop the ballista. He's gonna attack it with Rockhopper, and we're gonna brittle steel.
The cliffs themselves
I think this is
are my
okay.
barracks.
We could Death's Hand it as well. Rather just Death's Hand.
I turn it like so.
I'm curious about this. This reeks of like a shaped stone, right?
Timing is
I kind of want to keep our unit on board for the crowd favorites. So I don't really. Are we just taking 6? Okay.
Oh dear!
Stand down.
Still have the brittle steel now for our crowd favorite attack. I think this is good.
I stand for Noxus.
Welcome to the main event.
This Joker.
Maybe they'll ask me to voice act some of these cards, right? I think I'm pretty good at it. I don't know, man. I got this sweet accent. Oh, shit. Alright, nothing we can do about that.
Everything's in place. Behind ya.
Sedition.
I think we need to play any of these cards, right? This brittle steel doesn't seem that great anymore. Okay. guess we could have brittle steeled this to no we couldn't. Okay. In there, Desert's Wrath.
Shurima's strength is
So,
yours.
I mean, I guess our kind of like ideal way to maintain this board is with Troll Chant. So I think we're gonna have to just not play Runeweaver.
For Noxus.
Get our thing. Ugh, Misfortune. Ew. Okay, we should still be able to pretty reasonably not die here.
Things await.
Is he gonna flip as well?
Bang.
That's bold. What will this be?
The order is
All right,
given.
we're
Shurima
gonna
is
have to block something, I guess. All right, I redid the mathematics there. We're definitely gonna have to block something. How bad is this? We can- like if we do this
for you.
and then Brittle Steel Misfortune, we'll just be a 2. I think this is safe enough. Give an ally +2. Need that to be. Oh, hang on, we're gonna lose. They're gonna lose one of these units either way, aren't we? So we should just prevent the damage. Okay.
Love ya.
Glorious sacrifice.
Okay, so how can we close here? We got the 2 from Imperial Demolitionist. He's only got 1 blocker. I think if we just hit,
Do this.
this looks like 7. He may just pass on this since that would take him to 1, but it doesn't give us an opportunity to play combat tricks, and then we can kill him with Demolitionist. So you do it right. There is a world where he just passes, and then we didn't rep lethal before we attacked.
You dare.
All right, how bad is this if we play all the spinning axes on Draven? Oh, he's got a blocker. Okay. Can we?
The order is given.
So he's up to 4, right? For dealing 0, we can only deal a maximum of 6 out of hand. So okay, we just have to let that go from this. We could technically flip our Draven if we want, but that doesn't seem particularly good. Okay. But hopefully we can get wide enough now to
Chase what you want
to deal with any
without
shenanigans he's gonna send our direction.
I write the rules of power.
Might be a little greedy doing this, but I don't imagine he ever just like opens on us, right? The idea that a demolitionist can still block a sand soldier.
For silver I talk, for gold I listen.
Put the point onto Draven. Yeah, I don't like it. Let's just play Pillar. If he wants to hook our Pillar with Ruin Runner, then I'm completely okay with that.
Troll to rule 'em all.
How we looking? What you got, friend? I think we're looking decent now.
Shurima
Azir?
never
That's
fell.
about right.
It only awaited my return.
Need the Demolitionist. Now we have enough blockers for everything. He's aware that we've, you know, sent this damage. There's nothing we can do about it, but I would think he makes an attack that kind of looks like maybe he's gonna hook Azir with Ice Pillar, but then we can put Demolitionist in front of Ruin Runner.
Out of the way!
Destiny calls.
Yes, we probably should have just put the point of damage on Draven, right?
Oh, I hear.
'Cause we're never blocking any of this stuff with Draven.
And on your emperor commands.
Or if we are, I mean, he's just gonna come in here and die. So I mean, we have to block everything. Yeah.
Routes closed.
Got an axe with your name on it. Now we're cooking.
Something like this. So we died like a ruthless predator, but I'm willing to accept that. Oh. Okay, that's fine. we made the noises to get ourselves through the turn. That's all that matters.
Draven out. Reporting in.
Vladimir, what up, my man? Let's get these drains on.
Behold my glory.
It's only fair. He's drawn assload of champions this game, so I guess we drew 3. What else are we supposed to say? He's drawn 3. We drew our 3.
Together we are part of something more. Together you are children of Shurima.
Okay, do we need to quick attack any of this? I guess the big thing comes down to is like what he has to put his Azir in front of Trundle, right? So we just need to quick attack Trundle. So we can do this. What you got here on the left? This thing, oh, I forgot this thing can attack. I'll give it one of these. We do this right. Our units aren't dying. We're getting those drains in. This has to block here. Azir has to block Trundle. Okay.
One smack will do. Keep your distance. Dissident.
That's way lethal, my friend. That looks good, right? Okay. Get a little bit of buffer on the health. I think that looks fine. Maybe we'll get there.
Sand and trouble far as the eye can see.
Okay.
How marvelous.
Oh no. He can just kill us. Kill us with the Ruin Runner. Ah, brutal.
Where are you?
Brutal, brutal. Alright.
I assume you come for me.
Fine. Damn. Alright. On to the next one. It's just so brutal with a deck that's like, this is such like a mediocre deck to have the games that are so close to being winners just slip through your grasp. It's so painful. Alright, what can we do? Death Lotus for Tusk Raider is not horrible. I just don't want Death Lotuses. You know, we're not... we just didn't get any of the Vladimir build-around stuff, right? We didn't see any of the the self-damage cards show up. So we have to just kind of like pivot to this Overwhelm style deck, which is fine, I guess, but not quite what I was looking to do. Okay, on we go. All right, got the combos again, right? The Crimson Aristocrat and units that can't hit with it. But here, I think we're good to get rid of Kato now that we have 3 champions in our deck instead of 1. Not a bad little start.
You won't get past me.
It's the old Tarek Zed. This is kind of interesting. Like, I think we're probably safe to just go with both Saboteurs. It's fairly tough for them to have a 2/3 here. They could have like a Startled Stomper. I don't think there's anything in Ionia to punish this. Nice, just blast in that damage.
Pledge yourself to the shadows.
To serve the greater good.
So what do we think of the Zed? Next turn, we could hit for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Probably just have to block 1 just in case.
Your fate was written.
I am the shadow.
Doesn't have to like block against this, but it does leave us in this spot to where if he doesn't block, then we take him down to 2 and have 2 Legion Saboteurs on the board. I think he has to block here. He could have like Barrier Lifesteal, which would be ultimately pretty depressing for us, but there we go. That's what I thought would probably happen. And we have all the tools we need to just close this out the next turn. Okay. Not what you could be spending your 5 mana on at this point. Not it. I think are we okay to draw Draven? Not really excited about drawing Draven, but let's just pass.
Her light is our sword, her warmth our armor.
So we can just we can Brittle Steel Zed right now. Then I think add Kato. Alright, let's do this first so we don't mess it up. And then I'm kind of okay with just putting Vladimir in front of this thing.
Hello, my darlings.
Forge ahead!
So much damage though if we just let this go. Okay. Do we even need to play Kato? I guess that's the big question. I think that's safe. So much damage between Katoing up a Vladimir and then getting these big chunks in. I think I'm on board with this.
Each life a rare jewel.
Okay, it's pretty safe to assume he doesn't have another 2-drop or 2-cost unit. I feel like he probably would have just played it at this point. Why is this thing so weird and shiny? Oh, it was out of the way to have lifesteal? Must be nice. Okay, Kato, this, all these, and this. Right, all these are just gonna die to Vladimir. But we're gonna get that big chunk of damage in with these. So ideally, I mean, he can't put his Sunforger in front of Kato. And then, so he probably has to, put it in front of Vladimir. Vladimir's his only choice until he gets down to Legion Rearguard, right? Because this won't actually deal damage to our Saboteurs. giving up on it. Cool. Alright. We did it. We did it, fam. we beat a player. So let's see, what do we want to do here? Kind of okay with getting rid of Crimson Aristocrats, but this is kind of a sideways trade. This is I don't think the Aristocrats are too good in this style of deck, though, so I think this is fine. Also kind of interested in Iron Ballistas, but these Rune Weavers are so good. Just the random Reforges are so powerful. I think I'm okay to hang on to those. It's like, the big question is, like, are we okay with, like, letting Ballistic go? Just as a way to kind of close out games, and also as a target for Imperial Demolitionist kind of cards. I think we can let him go. Just take the Demolitionist. We just don't have anything that we can play these onto. Is the struggle. Oh man, big stretches. Here we go. Oh, it's your place. All right. Didn't miss the sweet action. There we go.
Explosives primed.
Not a bad start. It's nothing Imperial Demolitionist has any business to deal with. Okay.
I write the rules of power.
This Brahmin Nocturne, this should be fine.
It's Draven time.
I don't think we need to open into this. Perfect. So, I mean, brittle steals are unfortunate, but I'm still pretty happy with how this is going. And technically, put a point of damage on this and just redraw Spinning Axe, but we should probably hang on to our Overwhelm Fragment.
You suck.
Okay.
Words of power.
Building up to this really sweet turn where Vladimir kills off all of our own units. So, like, how bad are we willing to accept this? We can take a 6-hit to have a better crowd favorite, or we can just try to get reamed by Brittle Steel, or not Brittle Steel, by Troll Chant. I mean, I think it's kind of okay if we get Troll Chanted. Maybe if we just do this. I feel better about this. Maybe we would have gotten away with it, maybe not, but okay. I think I'm still on board with Vladimir. He seems much better than Rearguard plus crowd favorite.
Mother will unite us all.
Don't have quick attack.
Where can I find a full
Yeah,
body?
he's never leveling up otherwise. Maybe he's scared of the transfusion that we just actually didn't see throughout the entirety of the draft. Okay. This is pretty bad for us. He's you know, Freylord tends to have much better late game than we do. They may not have Field of Rush, but big as this. 8/8. Overwhelm. Okay. Just gonna ignore it. So we can rear guard. I mean, the big thing is we're just going to give the +2 attack to our Tusk Raider, so that if he blocks, he'll get a kill. I don't think we need to overwhelm anything.
The people are.
Uh-oh. Oh, Call of the Wild.
Ready? From blood, glory!
It's 2. And then we have these Nox and Fervor should we need to. I think this is fine. We can also Spinning Axe something if we want. This seems good.
I am ready.
Did we, how bad did we mess that up? Should we have just Spinning Axe to hit face and then hit him with Death's Hand, Nox and Fervor? I didn't stop to realize we were going to be so close. Well, I think we just have to accept our new fate here. It is ultimately pretty scary to do against a Shadow Isles deck. I don't suspect that they'll have like too much in the way of life gain, but between Vile Feast, Unspeakable Horror, and all the like, there's a chance that they'll have one. So if it was like he was going to be at like 1 and we're killing him with Noxus Blast, then maybe, because they have to have Grasp of the Undying Withering Wail, but just getting them for exacties is kind of scary. Couldn't get you in here faster. I was hoping to be able to Ice Veil Archer this, but it's not meant to be. We're just going to try to win this Field of Rush now. Get our one champion. That's all we need.
Ice to meet you.
Arrows at the ready.
Has a lot of potential to be horrible. Oh no. Are we gonna get him? He just opens on us, right? I really don't like counting on Death's Hand here. Play a card. Play a card, dude.
War Mason, reporting for duty.
Why did he burst and then not attack? I think we probably had that one anyways, but oh, the opportunity for disaster. Alright. Let's pick up this Vladimir. Maybe he'll at least have some on-point cards. The Crimson Disciple, cool. We could get a second Field of Rush, but no, we're going to do Vladimir things the rest of the way here. We're pretty close to, being able to do stuff. We just need a couple of trades into like Crimson Disciples and I don't know, Crimson Legionnaire, whatever the 3/2's called, for 2. I don't know. I don't know if like the cards just didn't show up, or if they're just kind of like, man, I really just want to give you some Scarthane Steffens, or how we messed up that draft, but it was not ideal. Let's hang on to our ones. Ashteric and Nevia. Alright, let's see if this guy opens with like Lonely Poro or Lonely Poro is horrible. It's also horrible to have them open with a Omen Hawk.
Explosives primed.
But same deal. Let's see if we can't just aggro these people out.
I'm cold, I'm hungry, and there's rocks in me boots.
Yeah, I'm out of play.
Stay back.
Sure. I don't know why he would want to give us the Reforge, but we'll take it. I would assume that's, maybe not the last unit you want to kill since we have these Saboteurs on the board, but it's you'd certainly rather just kill our Draven's biggest fan.
Draven, I love you.
Me too, kiddo. Me too.
Okay. Alright, so he's tapped out for this. Is this where he like hits us with a tall tales or something? I don't understand this line. You get the Yeti Yearling just dies to Draven, but that was quite strange what he just did there. Right. I'll take the bait. He plays like a bull Elnuck, it's really horrible. But
Can see the Demacian border from here.
No
Okay.
one's the wiser.
seems like it should be fun.
Watch and learn. Look out for reavers. Ready the torches.
Alrighty. Well, we're pretty far ahead on board. I don't know, like if he's trying to hit Yetis or just has a weird hand. I mean, we still have problems, right? If he plays like a Scar Maiden Reaver or something, that's a big pain. But dropping those Call of the Wilds.
I've dressed in
I don't mean to you know hate on Tuca 33's misfortune. And I do feel like that's the second Call of the Wild of this trial that that is just airballed, but that card's abysmally bad. And I really don't like that you have to kind of deal with it being around. Okay. Sorry, bro. It's just you'll have these things where it's like
And maybe those
you start with the cloning program in Nivea that has a Call of the Wild in it, and then you don't want to draft Yetis. And you know, you're just like counting on a trade pick to get rid of it, or you stuck with like a legitimately 100% dead card. And so, anywho, you know, I'm kind of interested in Three Sisters. I was hoping that we would come across. I thought this made ice shards. It doesn't. Is it really? I thought forever that Three Sisters made ice shards, but that play's just not here. I'd rather keep these Blade Squires than Saboteurs. We're not making that trade, and I don't really want Sharpened Resolves to begin with, so we'll just skip over all of these. I think Troll Chant's a little more important than the Three Sisters. I mean, we could make an argument for it in that, you know, Entomb is actually pretty good and that we don't have any removal spells, but I think I'd rather just have the Troll Chant for the early game play as opposed to investing in a play that costs at least 4 mana. Zed, Fizz, and Shin. Wonder if this is going to be a Fishbone stack. Okay, I think this is probably a reasonable amount of interaction for the early game. And we just drew awkward. This shit. Looks like you just gotta kind of have to keep the Brittle Steels against the Zed deck. Okay.
These hands know metal and magic. Hang on, Buzzball.
Hey,
Oh man, we gotta go against the elusives. I mean, we drew our Saboteur turn too late. At least we get to take down the Zed. It's a pretty big price we have to pay to do it, but at least get to do it.
Your fate was written.
All right, off to the races.
they won't get past me.
Let's see who can go face for the most damage the fastest. So we just drew perfect. We would have easily won this race if we had the Saboteur on the first turn, but we're about to just go ham on this damage. As long as this guy doesn't have like a Make It Rain and Ace 3 of our units, then he should have a extremely tough time dealing with this.
Explosives primed.
You're about to make more emotes, bro. I think he's mostly just doing that because we have all these premiums out here. I think that's probably what it is. He sees this full bench of premiums, and you know it's pretty intimidating.
Behind ya.
How did that move go?
Really hanging back with the Gringlade duo, huh?
Where are you going?
I think we probably just win the game. Win the game either way. He did boost a unit in his hand that we can't see here, so he might have, you know, like a who's he called, the thing that the elusive lifesteal, the 4-cost one, and that would actually be fairly tough for us to deal with, but
A gift from the river folk.
seems like it's pretty good for us.
It is.
Hit the stairs, exactly what we needed. Okay.
They'll never see me coming.
Good witch, okay.
Brim, I want to go home. This way. Go.
Can't do anything about that. All right, my confidence in winning this one has dwindled quite a bit. He does at least need to block a big chunk of our board.
It sings to me.
Okay, and then if with the weapon hilt was probably a pretty big draw. Good chance we just ace him with that if he tries to get clever with his blocks here.
Looking for this? This one's trouble.
I ain't afraid.
I ain't afraid. Concussive palm. Okay. Are we dead? I mean, we've dealt with the majority of his problematic stuff. Like the elusives are the way that he'd be killing us. But this quick attack challenge is all he's doing. I'm
I have my
pretty okay with that.
Come on, Rin.
So you're coming in with that. So how do we want to do this? We can weapon hilt, and then next turn we can both at the. I think we want to do it like this. We can both at the stairs, and we can play Riven Sword. And the thing with at the stairs, it should come in. AOE has 2 units and leave us with an Imperial Demolitionist. Might be enough to get around this. Oh man, that was a quick attack thing. Okay. I still believe in us. Wow, I didn't realize Flurry of Fist was permanent. I always just won the game every time we played Flurry of Fist. I didn't realize that thing lasted forever. Huh. Interesting. Hopefully this is good here. I mean, he has a ton of cards in his hand. We could have done that like weapon hilt shenanigans turn ago, but ultimately just felt like you know, a big risk of losing to a Will of Ionia. This isn't lethal though, is it? But I still need to go for it. I assume he's gonna have like a Homecoming or a Will of Ionia for our Mythic Stairs. I don't think this is ever lethal. Okay. We have the second flurry to get the double attack. Okay. Alright, let's see what happens. We can feel the rush next turn as well. So we should have an 8, a 10, and a 10. Hopefully that's enough. But don't want to just open. It doesn't win if he has a Homecoming, or it beats a Homecoming. It doesn't win if he has a Will of Ionia, Concussive Palm, whatever. All right, the wins are coming in, bringing them on. So let's see again. I think I think I'm okay to trade this Nox and Fervor for a Legion Rearguard. We really just need like these 2 health units so that we can hit them with Demolitionists, and it's such a powerful early game play. But it drops us to 1 Fervor, but I think that's the way to go. I would like to get rid of these crowd favorites. They're, you know, they play out well in these aggro Noxus decks that have like a bunch of things like House Spiders, just ways to put multiple units on the board with 1 card, right? Not with using multiple cards to have to do it. But I think we want to do something like this. It's Lee Sin Draven. So I'd assume this is just a base Lee Sin deck. They don't have a whole lot of early game. I don't think we'll get. Probably have to hang on to Troll Chant. It's so good if we get like a 2-for-1 on them in the early game.
Just need a second.
Play the rear guard in case he has a 1 attack unit.
The wrong row. Looking for this?
Found bro. We don't like to have fun.
No one's the wiser. I have my orders. Everything's in place.
Alright, let's see where this gets us. Can't do anything with the Icefell Archer. Ooh. We got 1 extra mana out of that play. Oh, friend, that is not ideal. Most definitely playing Trundle here. We have so many good combats that we can get. Well, Draven's a little better now. We can Draven and Icefell Archer.
Extend your senses. Knocked and ready.
In position.
Okay.
Their heartbeats quicken. Act free of doubt.
Gives him barrier. Where does this get us? Down to 2? It's tapped out. Okay.
Now we're cooking.
Now we're cooking. Got him. Unfortunate for that guy. That was not an ideal draw against what we're doing. You can't have your first play of the game be deep meditation on 4. I guess you got to play Scout, sure, but your second play of the game is deep meditation. Not a lot he could do about it.
Maybe those other guys. Whatever.
It's all right. Let's get ready for that final battle. The Scar Maiden Reaver works for me. We did get a lot of value out of it that stairs, but that's just not something that we're ultimately going to be pursuing or getting frequently here. And so the Scar Maiden Reaver, great early game play for us. I think I still want to hang on to our other Overwhelm here in the Tusk Raider. These play pretty well at closing out these games we don't win with Feel the Rush. So I think we want to skip over all of these. Okay, again, another not interesting set. These cards are all a little bit too expensive for what we're trying to do. All right, another looks like another skipper. I could see an argument for the Brutal Hunter over Death's Hand, I guess, but I think I'd like to just have the spell mana based card here. What do we think of the Brittle Steel for Legion Saboteur? Where are we at? We got 3, 5, 6, 7 1-drops. It's probably okay-ish enough. Let's hang on to the combat trick. Our spell clown. My kind of like, standards, like, hey Buzz, how many spells should I play in my aggro deck? Like 10, and so I feel like we're a little low there, especially when one of our spells is Feel the Rush. That's what people sound right. Hey Buzz, what do I do? So I'm pretty confident that what do we have here? Shyvana, Taric, Aurelion Sol. We just need to be as aggressive as possible. Let's search for a 1 here. Get rid of Troll Chant, crowd favorite, search for a 1. We could arguably do the Trifarian, but it's so good if we have a 1. No, I think in large part the majority of my subscribers and viewers are not American, and so can't use the American voice like that. Very boast. That's American, right? Ooh, okay. We should be very strong against this. So how do we do the most damage? Probably just Runeweaver.
Words of power linger in the air.
And if we draw a 1, we can do this thing again to where we play the 1 and then Icefell Archer, or we can just add the Trifarian, who should also be pretty good here. He shouldn't have anything that interacts positively with him. So much premium. Look at all this, man. Okay. So he can either, go for the value block and take 8 and then leave us with the big boys on board, or prevent the damage. I'm pretty okay with either one. I say he's probably going to take the trade. Okay. What do we think of popping one of these with Icevale Archer? It's kind of awkward, right? In the sense that if we do the Icevale Archer, he can still just kill 1 unit, but if we play the Imperial Demolitionist, he still just kills 1 unit. I don't think that we want to play crowd favorite here. I think this is fine. We can kill our rear guard. We can. Interesting.
Remember the objectives. Make the Empire proud.
Get to pick and choose now that we're out of mana. Yeah, that's fine. So what do we think? Do we want to give the crowd favorite quick attack, or do we want to give him the boost with the Legion rearguard? I think we probably just want to give it the boost, right? I think it's just so frequent that he just plays like the 5/5, right?
I'm something of
Sure.
an aspiring trichologist. I salute you. Dragons,
Okay.
such
I think that's game.
creatures. Okay, ready. I'll do better this time. Come back later.
Taking 5 plus whatever overwhelms. Yeah,
What is this?
that'll do it. All right, good game, friend. There you have it. Expedition number 100 on the 7 winners. Nice. Yeah, got it in there right there at the end before before we hit trial number 300. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Let's get this pulled up. And so, I mean, we did fully intend on drafting, the Vladimir build around, but it didn't show up. It showed up to a degree. It's just it showed up on the Freylord side, and that wasn't cards that I was particularly interested in. This style deck that we put together here, this really ultra aggressive kind of deck, is what you tend to see out of Vladimir's, and you tend to see out of Swain's because they have access to the Crimson Disciple, the Demolitionist, the 3/2 Last Breath guy I keep talking about that we never drew, and they just have this like ultra powerful 2-drops package. And then just like throughout your wild picks, you can find the Saboteurs, the Legion Rearguards, and then if you're able to, fill in your 3-drops with either Iron Ballistas or Dravens, then you just have this like super good early game curve that has a surprising amount of reach since you have all of these additional damage sources like the Disciple going over top, the Demolitionist going over top. It's all around. It's pretty powerful stuff. And then you can even look at we had that one game where we just like attacked with like 2 or 3 Demolitionists and then just killed them all with Draven to just go face for like 6 or 7 damage in total. Just another great way to close these games out. And so I think that's like really what you're looking to get out of a Vladimir. Like did we really touch on this full Vladimir build around of I'm gonna hit my Crimson Disciple or whatever my 3-cost Crimson thing is with like a 1 damage and +2 attack and get Crimsons in my hand and do all this stuff. Like, no, that theme is just not very good. But this theme of just being really aggressive turns out is actually pretty good. And so that's what I typically recommend you really look for. If you're trying to draft Vladimir or Swain, you typically don't want to take them first pick like we did with Vladimir here. This tends to be something, there's like a few very specific decks that are like pretty excited to have this pile of cards in it, and you're usually taking them second. But if you say start with a LeBlanc, very good. If you start with a Sivir, these are very good champions for that kind of thing. And so, whenever, you take a peek at my tier list and, you see Vladimir and Swain way down at the bottom, that's what the intent, with Vladimir, that we're going to be, taking all the Crimsons and doing this self-damage kind of theme. That's just not a particularly good deck. Same with the Swain. It just, I don't want to be playing City Breaker or whatever the catapult looking card is that deals damage to your opponent every turn. Those kind of build-arounds just aren't quite good enough. And so, if you do find yourself with Vladimir, though, it's all about those 2-drops. I could get him pulled up again. I think it's a little easier to see in the Swain pool. I think he might actually have all of them. But who are we talking about here, right? Imperial Demolitionist, Legion Grenadier. This is the dude that it was just impossible to remember. Crimson Disciple, and then I've left one other one out. I thought there was 4 of them in total. Oh, there's the one that deals damage and gives something +2 attack. And so that's, just like this really ultra powerful core of 2-drops. And so if you can go, and find some 1s and 3s to surround it with, maybe find some Reforges, maybe find like a Kato of the Arm, then you have yourself looking at a pretty powerful strategy. And so that's, what I really want to call out with this Vladimir is, we have this weird Feel the Rush kind of deck that we put together here. Whatever, we did it. We won some games with Feel the Rush, but ultimately when it comes down to Vladimir, he wants to be ultra aggressive, ultra Noxy, ultra Noxan, if you will, just super low to the ground. Got to hit these 1, 2, and 3 curves. You got to spend that 6 mana in the first 3 turns of the game, and then just try to overwhelm your opponent. And so, that's ultimately my advice here is, don't draft this self-damage theme. Do draft these ultra-aggressive Noxus decks. And so, yeah, that will do it for us today. Looks like we got a reward to click on here. We got a silver chest, some wild cards, all looking pretty good. Sea Scarab, what up, man? It was in our previous, was the Sea Monsters the previous one? I can't remember. All the wild cards, everyone's favorite pack to see be opened. Oh man, we got prismatic rewards. Nice. What have we got? It's appropriate, right? We have to take the Unscarred Reaver. I'm not opposed to taking Behold the Infinites. This does generate cards, and then you get all of those prismatic Celestials. But I think it's like a requirement that we just drafted the Battle Scars deck that we have to take the Unscarred Reaver. So, welcome to the team, my friend. Call of the Wild, don't be showing this stuff to me. Nobody wants premium Call of the Wilds. And yeah, that is going to do it for us today. And so hope you all learned how to build your Battle Scars a little bit better. You maybe learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.